Anyway, let's go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Breakfast with the Village Guy show. Of course, those of you joining for the first time, this is just a morning live show that we chat to people of Paul and Wellington doing amazing things, following their dreams, and then just keep you up to date with what's happening in our environment and maybe just also nationally in South Africa. Judith, how things?
Good. It's fantastic to be back. It's Friday. Weekend. Yeah, Monday was amazing, eh?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was very, very good. And I would just like to say, first of all, I would like to thank everyone that's tuning in. I saw that there's someone tuning in even from the garden route.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Thank you for everybody, because this is the village show is about the village.
Yeah, of course.
It's about the winelands and about the people and what we love to do, and we just celebrate people. Yeah?
Cool, man.
That's
Yeah,
what we do.
exactly what we do. So, yeah, thanks for joining in. And firstly, thanks for all the nice comments. Some of you have given me some nice advice of I must look into the camera when I speak and I must stop clapping my hands. And so I'm going to try my best to do what you're telling me to do. So today we've got some amazing guests. So what we do is we have interviews with people. We have a sports section. And then today we've got, for the first time, some live food. Let's call it Koesisters, or what do we call it? Koesisters?
Yes,
What's
we
the
call it-
difference?
So we have Koesister, then we have Koesister.
Okay.
Yeah? So there is a difference, but we're going to leave it for the professionals
All right,
to
cool.
explain it to us.
Yeah.
later.
So we've got Izele van Blerk, which is I'm an award-winning winemaker. I was trying to write down all the awards she's won, and I just stopped, I think, by line 15. So I think she must tell me what it is. And then, of course, we have Franzel September, who is the Boland assistant coach. They also just came from a nice league, professional league, so it'll be very interesting to hear from you how that experience was as the coach. And then we're going to go over to Saajidah Cook, who makes
And the
Koesisters.
last name gives it away, yeah?
Yeah, I thought her name should have been Saajidah Cooks, and then that could have been a company's name. But anyway, so let's get over to Izele. I'm gonna stop clapping my hands, they said. Let's get over to Izele, hear about her story of winemaking, and then, we'll meet you over there.
Yes, I'll join you later.
Cool, man. Good morning, madam.
Morning.
How are you?
Very well, and you?
All right, thanks for joining us so early in the morning.
No, it's a pleasure. I slept in a bit this morning because I had to be here, so I didn't go to the cellar at 6 a.m.
Oh, is that the normal
Yeah,
time?
that's a normal time.
Are we living close to the cellar? Or?
Yes,
Okay,
very
cool.
close, by 5 minutes drive.
Cool. Madam, tell me, so like I said, I don't know I was writing down all the awards that you've had with your mentor range, and I'm thinking like every single year you have an award, and it's not just a national award, it's an international award. So if someone told you 10 years ago when you started, Izele, in 10 years' time you're probably going to have an international award for wine that you make, would you have believed them?
No. So I grew up actually in Paul. I went to Paul Gymnasium. I was actually a tennis player.
Okay.
I went to America on a tennis scholarship, so I played tennis in America. And then within the first 3 months, I tore my ACL, so I had to return to South Africa. And then I didn't know what I wanted to study. But my late father was in the viticulture, so I decided, okay, let's try and do winemaking. So I studied at the University of Stellenbosch for 4 years, did my internship at KWV.
Cool. Oh, nice.
And then I started. In 2009, I started at KWV, and I've been there ever since. I say always, winemaking is like tennis, because it's a lot of hard work, determination, and you're never going to be the best.
Yeah, of course.
So innovation, experimentation, but I wouldn't have guessed it in a million years that I would have become a winemaker, and even,
An award.
We just, I say every wine that you enter into a competition is like shooting in the dark. You never know when you're going to hit something.
Yeah.
But it's also a team sport.
Yeah.
It's from the wine growers to our viticultural team, to everyone in the winery, to marketing team, to sales, to the consumer that actually pick up that bottle from the shelf. And for me, the best experience is when you see someone drinking your wine and you see their faces. And wine actually brings joy to people's lives. Not too much, but it usually.
Yeah.
One glass or 2 glasses a day, they say apple keep the doctor away, but a glass of red wine also keep the doctor away.
Yeah. So I mean, so tell me, you have a very fascinating type of winemaking procedure, because I just was reading up, and it's not like you have one farm with a lot of grapes. You just have a lot of grapes and everything comes. So firstly, tell us, of course, everybody in Paarl knows KWV is a massive establishment, I think 100 and something years old. Tell us a bit about KWV, like the history of like from where it started and how it just boomed up to where it is now.
So KWV was established in 1918.
Yeah.
So we're 103 years old. It was established to get rid of all the excess wine in the South African wine industry.
Okay.
So we were only allowed to export wine to international countries. We weren't allowed to sell any wine in South Africa.
Okay.
In 2003, they said, no, we now allowed to start selling wines in South Africa. So we actually quite a new company in the South African in South Africa to buy wines. But we buy grapes from 54 different wine producers in South Africa. We don't own any wine farms.
Wow.
So we work every year with about 450, 500 different grapes, different blocks from all over the Western Cape, from Elgin to Lutzville. So we've got a viticultural team of 3 viticulturists. And I need to mention this. So I don't know if you know Tim Atkin's report that came out last night. And our chief viticulturist, Marco Ventrella, won the Viticulturist of the Year as well.
Wow, nice.
Yesterday, so we're very proud of him.
Okay, cool.
Exceptional guy, Italian,
Yeah.
born in South Africa,
Yeah.
but Italian. And he loved talking, but he's an inspiration to everyone out there.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, so we work with exceptional people, from grape growers to viticulturists. And then what we do in the cellar is Marco and his team will go out, they will select all the best blocks, and then I go into the vineyards and I also select like this 10 rows or 20 rows, and I will play around with that. So the Mentor cellar was created in 2006 as an experimental cellar.
Okay.
So we actually didn't want to produce wine there to put in the bottle. It was actually just to be like the small scale lab of KWV.
All right.
So we can play around with different barrel coopers, winemaking techniques, with all the different yeast. We get PhD students from the university to come and work there for harvest season. So it was innovation, experimentation, and if we don't make mistakes, I'm not actually doing my job.
Yeah, 100%.
So we need to make mistakes and see everything that works in the Mentor cellar, we take to the bigger cellars to build the bigger brands.
Yeah.
So it's actually, I'm just playing around. So it's a small little cellar. The tanks are as big as I am. I think they selected the right person to work in that cellar because I can actually stand on my toes and look into the tanks. And I work with a really small team of only 2 cellar assistants that work with me.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting, and we don't make wines to win awards. We're actually just trying to push the boundaries to make the whole of South African wine industry better. But yeah, it's always nice to win awards, but
yeah, because I see sometimes like when they enter awards, it's like 8,000 bottles of wine that they have to. I mean, who does all the tasting and tasting? I mean, how long?
So the tasting is very exciting. I'm also a judge at Veritas and Young Wine Show, and I've been now invited last year. Unfortunately for COVID, I was invited to go and taste at Mundus Vini in Germany.
Nice.
So it's really exciting, and they get judges from all over the world.
Yeah.
Concours Mondel in Belgium, we just won the best with the Peril brand. We won the best South African wine there, and they had more than 18,000 entries from all over the world.
Wow.
So they get fly-in judges from all over the world, and you will be tasting up to 100 wines per day.
Jeez.
So they'll have 20 or 30 panels, judging panels. They will taste the wines blind, give it a rating, and then at the end, it will go down to 10 wines to 5 wines, and then they select the best wines.
Jeez.
So yeah, they do taste a lot, and you get expert judges that just judge.
Tell me something. I read also that you have the first red wine that has won an award. Normally, it always used to be a white wine. What award was that?
Yeah, so last year at the Veritas Award, so Veritas is probably the biggest wine competition in South Africa.
Okay.
It's known by everyone. It's also internationally recognized because a lot of wine competitions is so set in a specific country.
Yeah.
So just the people in the country know about it. But Veritas is the biggest wine competition in South Africa.
Okay.
And there was 1,380 entries.
Nice.
See, I've rehearsed this. There was 1,380 entries.
Okay.
And how it works is you have, we changed it over the years because it used to be 5 judges on a panel.
Yeah.
But now with COVID, we only made it 3 judges on a panel. So you get invited to be a judge on the panel. And I'm actually chairman of Chardonnay. So you select your judges.
Yeah.
And then you taste for 2-3 days. I'll only taste Chardonnay.
Okay.
So everyone enter from across the country. And it's a blind tasting. You get 10 wines in front of you.
Okay.
And you taste it. Give it a rating. You're not allowed to discuss the wines with the other judges. You hand it in, and then there's a Chardonnay, a Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin, red blends,
Nice.
all the different,
Nice.
categories. And then at the end, the Friday, it's a week's tasting. At the end, the Friday, they put all the double golds. So a wine get a double gold when it score more than 93, and a gold above 90.
Okay.
So all the 93s and above get put on a table in front of 10 expert judges.
Okay.
And it's a long table and 55 wines on the table. So it's from MCC, Method Cup Classic, Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin, Chardonnay, all the different styles of wine.
Yeah.
And you just taste. You hand your papers in, and then after that, they bring back only 6 wines. They put 6 wines in front of you, and then you give it a rating 1 to 6.
Okay.
And after that, you don't know what wine won. They award this trophy called the Vertex Trophy, Veritas Vertex. That means that overall best wine of the whole competition.
Right.
And last year, we were fortunate to win the Vertex for our Mentors Orchestra, our Bordeaux style blend. And yeah, it was the first ever time that a red wine won this award.
Okay.
So it was a big achievement for
of
us.
course.
We're very proud. I think I've never cried so much on a competition, on an awards function.
Yeah.
But again, Marco always say our viticulture it's a team sport.
Yeah. No, 100%.
From the guy that picks the grapes to the producer to the guy that drives the truck to the winery to every single one that's attention to detail that just put in 150 hours a day.
No, I always find it's fascinating. November, December, January, when all the vans, all the tractors are driving up and down with the grapes. It's such a special thing in Paul that time. But okay, before we carry on with our conversation, let's go find out how we make Koesisters traditionally from Saajidah and Judith.
Awesome. Welcome, Saajidah.
Thank
It's so
you,
lovely
Judith.
to have you here.
It's my
Fantastic. So Saajidah is from Simply Sublime. Awesome. So one thing that I've realized that with South Africans and people, especially in Paul, there's 3 things that brings us together. And that is wine, obviously. Thank you, Izele. And then we have the sports on a weekend that really brings us together. But the other thing that also brings us together in the kitchen is the food.
Food, yes.
We love to cook, we love to bake, we love to just get together and make something. So this morning, as we said earlier, there is a difference between Koesister and Koesisters.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what the difference is?
A Koesister is more of a, it's not a spicy thing. This is a
Okay.
Koesister. Koesister is a spicy thing.
Okay, awesome.
The Koesister is traditional Afrikaans. It's more like a platted donut thingy,
Yeah.
very sweet. But this is a Koesister. We have to get that clear. This is a Koesister.
Okay, so one is like cakey, and
Yeah.
the other one is more spicy.
Yeah, more
brings in the
spicy.
spice. Awesome, fantastic. So, if I ask you this morning, like, where did this love for food start? Where did you start?
I think the love for it started at a very young age. I come from a family of bakers.
Oh,
So my grandmother was a very good baker. Aunts, everybody was bakers. So when we used to have parties, it was a cake party. So that love started there for cake. I absolutely love cake.
Okay.
But I think I just grew into it. But I never thought I would be a baker actually. It's actually just a passion. It started as a passion. The Koesisters actually started 16 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah, and I actually started doing that only as a sideline business.
Yeah.
I wasn't working at the time, and I just started trying things out. But I was always fascinated with making things and interested
Yeah.
in making new things. So that's where this started 16 years ago, and I'm still going. Yeah,
Okay, fantastic.
But the love for baking is definitely started at a young age, and it's a family thing.
Okay, awesome. So I'm sure there's a recipe book somewhere with all the recipes in it that's passed on from grandma, great-grandma to the kids.
There's not a lot of recipes,
Not a
but
lot?
yeah,
Okay.
from family, from aunts, etc. Yeah.
Fantastic, awesome. So one thing that this morning that we were slightly laughing about is that we as colored people, we love Tupperware. But one thing that I also found out this morning is Zal said, no, but white people also love Tupperware. So that's the thing that brings us together. So we have the Tupperware this morning with all the ingredients and stuff in it. So let's start. Let's start explaining to everybody how we do Koesisters.
Koesisters, yeah.
Let me not say it wrong.
I've mixed in here already. This is flour and sugar. That's your first ingredients. With that, you add some ground cinnamon,
Okay.
ground ginger, and of course aniseed. You can also add some cardamom, fine cardamom. You mix this in there. In here, I have about 5 cups of flour, 1.5 cup of sugar. I will add my spices to this. Obviously, yeast.
Yes.
I have in here about 125 ml of oil, which
Okay.
I will also mix in here.
Yeah.
And, oh no, this is the coconut for last. But all of those ingredients you mix. The flour, the sugar, your spices, yeast, add some salt to that also. And then some warm water.
Yes.
It's actually a ratio of warm water and milk.
Okay.
In a jug, I mix that together. And so it's a nice sticky dough.
Yeah.
Not too slobby or not too sticky, but you will just have to, you know a perfect consistency.
And how much water and how much milk? How do you measure?
1 cup of water, 1 cup of milk.
Okay.
But actually, this is just a small batter. I
Okay.
normally double everything, so
Yeah,
you
I
will
can-
have
I
to
can-
you will have to measure that according to
can
how much
imagine.
flour and everything.
Yes.
So what I normally do is I just take a huge jug or a big jug,
Yes.
add the ratio of milk and water, and I will just pour and mix it. I say it's perfect. Okay, and to that you mix that together. You tap it with some oil on top, cover with plastic, and then it has to rise for 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Then
Well,
you put it
actually, in
away.
summer it takes less time, but in winter,
Yeah.
normally 2 hours. I just you can cover it with a cloth or tablecloth or something just to keep it warm. So then it rises for 2 hours, and then after that, the next process starts.
Okay, perfect. So one thing is also, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we love to have Koesisters on a Sunday morning. Is that right? So
Yeah, Koesister is it's tradition on a Sunday. You must have a Koesister on
traditionally
a
on a
Sunday.
Sunday morning.
It's not Sunday if you don't have a Koesister.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit, where can people order if they want to order their Koesisters early on a Saturday maybe with you to have
That's
it ready
what
on
we
a
normally
Sunday
do.
morning?
People normally pre-order on a Saturday.
Yeah.
They can WhatsApp me. And then now also something exciting that's been happening the past week. They can download the Paul Eats app. And
Oh.
Simply Sublime is now listed on Paul Eats. So you may order via them too, and you can WhatsApp me. Most people order on a Saturday to
Okay.
avoid disappointment because
Okay.
Sunday morning everybody wants Koesisters, and then sometimes it's sold out. So yeah.
Fantastic. And I'm sure you do more than Koesisters, as I've mentioned. You also have a takeaway with your father that we
No, he has a takeaway. I work from home. I do Koesisters, pies, samosas, routine curry almost every day.
Okay.
People has been going crazy lately for.
I know you've been busy this week, yeah?
This week has been crazy. Yeah, they've been really go. There's like an eclair pandemic going on this week. Everybody wanted eclairs every day of the week. So yes, I do work from my home. I do savories. I do food. Fridays normally roti Friday. That's a big roti day.
Okay.
Saturdays we do savory Saturday. And Sunday is Koesister Sunday. So every day of the week
Koesister.
has a name.
Okay.
Yeah, every day of the week has a name. But routine curry is also available every day of the week. Savories, anything available every day of the week. So yeah.
Fantastic. So there we have it. You can find her on Facebook. So it's Simply Sublime, and then you can also contact her.
Yeah, you
Yeah?
can contact me
You
on
can.
076 528 3058. That's the number for Simply Sublime.
Awesome. So before we go over to the second process, we're just going to go over to sports, and then we'll come back. And
Awesome.
We'll come back.
Our
to the second
Koesisters will be
process.
ready.
Awesome.
Hey guys, yeah, so we're back at sport, of course, with my co-host Dina. Sorry, they said I must stop clapping my hands. With my co-host Dina Pullis, and then we have a nice special guest, Franzel September. I mean, probably doesn't need any introduction in the rugby fraternity in the Wellington area. He's been from school to high school to tertiary education. He's always been on the rugby field. At this stage now, he's a bit on the coaching side. So, my Franzel, baie welkom.
Goeiedag.
Ja.
Baie dankie vir die Wallets team vir die wees. Dit is my amazing om hier te wees.
Ja.
Amazing te sien. sien eintlik uit na die Koesisters later. Ja, maar baie dankie dat ek hier kan wees.
Ja, cool. Sê gou my voor ons net gaan met die coaching, gewoon net 'n quick background van, ek sien jy was Roses captain en oral so sê vir my.
Yes, skool gegaan sit op ons primêr, Bergrivier skool gegaan, alle jare rugby gespeel. Bietjie cricket getry, maar kon net 3 balle face. Maar ja, daar gespeel en daarvandaan af het ek oorgegaan Roses toe. Roses was maar altyd maar die groot droom geweest want dit was die groot klub in die Wellington of sê in die Boland om te speel en om daar te represent, familieklub om so te sê. Pa, ma, al die familie was betrokke by rugby geweest. So dit was altyd amazing geweest en ook groot geraak met hierdie Boland stelsel. Boland in 12, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19 gespeel. Reg deur amateur en tot die Cavaliere ook ja. So rugby is in die bloed in. Ja.
Okay, cool. Ja, so sê gou nou het jy mos Boland assistant coach gewees. Ja, ons het ook voorheen gesels gehad van die nuwe die kompetisie wat julle gespeel het. Geen net op gesprenktes gehad.
Ja, ons het hierdie jaar het ons 'n first division gespeel. En ons het 4de eindig semifinale het ons verloor teen die Luipere. Ek voel ons het 'n goeie seisoen gehad nadat rugby so lank af was en dan was die rugby gewees het. So om te coach nou is maar so altyd 'n droom gewees van my om daar te wees, maar om hierdie jaar betrokke te gewees het. Verlede jaar was ek betrokke, maar COVID het ons moes nou gevat en ons kon nie rugby speel nie en ons kon niks doen nie. En om hierdie jaar nou bietjie te gespeel het, dit was 'n bietjie laat om so te sê dat jy was onseker geweest, 'n tweede vlag kom en dan moet jy weer voorberei en dan is soveel protokolle wat gevolg moet word. En soveel en ons is nog semi-pro ook, manne wat werk hierdie dag so en ons moet in die aand oefen en moet gaan kompeteer teen professionals wat heeldag oefen. Dit is bietjie challenging, maar ten minste het ons daarom goed gerepresent voel ek. So dit was 'n amazing tournament geweest.
Franzel wil net vir vra man, soos jy nog gesê het semi-pro, hoe het julle die manne, hoe kan jy positief hou om nog van werk af nog te gaan oefen? Jy weet sekere manne as voel as moeg week, dat is maar net 'n ding wat ek gaan doen man. So hoe het julle manne positief hou en hoe het julle die squad by mekaar gehou?
Ja, ek dink dis maar heeltyd soos hulle sê jy moet nie geel worteltjie daar hou. Jy moet bietjie hoop skep om vir die manne te sê dat luister dit is nou die kans om die try aan te trek. Die groep is nie so groot nie. Aan die begin het saam met coach Rendel het ons gesit en gesê dat ons wil regtig waar almal 'n kans gee om in die try te represent. So wanneer daar spelers kom, ons wil nie die groep te groot maak en dan moet jy nou heeltyd beklei vir 'n posisie wat ook gesond is, maar op 'n einde van die dag dan raak manne mismoedig soos jy sê. Jy moet uit die werk uitkom. Die goeie ding dink ek wat ons gehad het is dat manne was voorheen in die groep. Manne het groot aspirasies gehad om die try te verteenwoordig en te represent. So dit was maar 'n lekker ding. Ek dink dit was nie so challenging geweest nie. Dit was maar net meer gegaan oor dat jy moet spelers 'n regverdige kans gee. En ek dink dit is wat ons hierdie jaar gedoen het, dat elke speler binne die groep het sy regverdige kans gekry en dit was belangrik geweest. Ja.
Maar hoe voel jy gevaar vir die jaar van jou? Of course, jy sê nou julle speelteam professionals en julle semi-professional. I mean, of course, funds is always a problem when it comes to rugby. Maar nou ja, hoe het julle gevaar en wat is die?
Ja, ek voel ons het goed gevaar. Ons het as 'n paar games wat ons bietjie weggegooi het. Ek kyk nou die Luipere die kompetisie gewen. Ons het in hulle Wellington het ons vir hulle gelead 19-5 halftyd. En ons verloor die wedstryd. So daar's 'n paar games wat ons regtig waar dis maar deel van rugby. Jy wen en jy verloor en dan maak jy foute en dan silly errors kos jou sommer die wedstryd. So 'n soort van 'n intercept pass of so, gelukkig ons het dit gehad hè. Maar dit was up and down geweest. Ek dink maandag kan jy glad nie oefen nie want die protokol is dat jy dinsdag moet jy eers 'n COVID toets ondergaan. En voordat jy op dinsdag 'n COVID toets deurgemaak het, dan kan jy eers begin oefen. So dit wil sê jy moet 4 uur 'n COVID toets doen en dan kan jy eers van 5 uur af op 'n dinsdag begin oefen. En dan moet jy Saterdag speel, jy moet Vrydag travel. Daar was een dag wat ons in die Valke gespeel het, dit was een Vrydag ja. Toe vlieg ons die oggend in en ons speel 1:30 die middag en ons vlieg aan huis toe.
Wow.
So nou moet jy net eers Dinsdag begin, so jy wil sê Dinsdag moet jy eers gereed maak en dan jy moet nog 'n afdag jy weet soos hulle sê baie mense verstaan nie dat in die setup nou is dat vir 'n afdag maak 'n voorbeeld soos 'n Telomars, verstaan, hy's 'n polisieman. So vir 'n afdag by die Boland is dit sy werkdag. En by die werkdag, die afdag het, moet hy by Boland kan oefen. So feitlik het die ou nie 'n afdag nie. En die man represent so goed. So dit is baie challenging en dan so ek sê, as jy deur die COVID toets is, nou moet jy fiksie doen, jy moet so baie doen en dan moet jy ook na die week se oefening moet jy man 'n kans gee om te rus. So dis baie challenging. Wat ander spanne weer finansiëel bietjie sterker is, ja, en dan kan hulle heeldag oefen, hulle kan al hulle dinge deur die dag doen. Hulle is 'n soort van werk toe gaan, soos die Springbokke. Dis hulle werk, ja, so vir baie van die manne was dit 'n droom, dit was 'n soort van die passie het hulle maar gedryf. So, maar dit was nice.
Nee, ek kan dit verstaan. Ek meen, can you imagine as jy nou at least net van op 'n groot sponsor kry en dan kan jy spelers full-time. Ek meen, julle pas so goed as hulle part-time doen. Imagine they do it 100% of the time.
Ja, ek dink dit is die toe ons agterna reflect, toe sê ons osself, what if? Maar daar sal altyd 'n what if wees. Maar ek dink net dat vorentoe dink ek sal ons beter prepare wees. Dit was die eerste keer, so hulle sê COVID het almal getref. Niemand het excuses nie. Jy moet maar aanpas en jy moet maar vorentoe werk. So, maar ek sien exciting times. Volgende jaar hopelik dan sal ons beter represent.
Franzel, ek het nog een vraag, man. Hoe het julle gemaak met kan ek sê, het nog nie klap rugby gemaak. Hoe was julle squad gekies en hoe het julle spelers gekies op performance as gevolg van het nog nie klap rugby en performance en kan ek sê abilities, kan men nog nie sê, het julle maar net gekies as op Marita of
ja, voorheen het ons vir die jaar het ons 'n groep gehad en meestal dink 80% van daai groep se manne het ingekom en hulle het soort van net na die volgende jaar toe aangeskryf vanaf verlede jaar na hierdie jaar toe. Daar was 'n paar manne gekontrakteer. Kyk, jy moet maar 'n bietjie kontrakteer tyd 5 of wat jy manne nodig het. So talent manne was maar gekies op previous performances. Asof van daar was mos nog glad niks rugby nie. So met daardie previous performances het ons maar gehoop en vertrou dat manne sal weer hierdie jaar en ek dink die manne het goed gevaar vir soos ek sê vir 'n 4de plek om te behaal. En dit was so close, party dus tweede gelê so. Ja. Maar soos ek weer sê, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, okay, so the last is what are the big dreams? What are the plans for Boland Rugby? Okay, let's say we don't get the sponsor. So what is the what is the big dreams?
Ek dink vir ons as 'n span wil ons wil hierdie jaar 'n soort van Cavaliere 'n goeie soort van pre-season het. Ons wil goed prep om volgende jaar want daar's 'n moontlikheid dat die kompetisie al Februarie maand begin. Verstaan? So rugby gaan vroeg kom vir die first division. Dis 'n home and away basis, so jy moet beter prepare. So nou al einde September, Oktober begin oefen nou. Persoonlik drome vir my is maar altyd om nog in die Boland stelsel te bly. Dis vir my 'n groot droom. Ek is 'n Bolander in en uit. Ja, enige een sal wil hoor gaan, maar ek dink net dat tyd en soort van ervaring is nog nie daar om hoor te wil gaan nie, want jy wil nie op 'n ander plek kom, so ek sê professioneel gaan en dan moet jy gaan leer. Jy moet gaan om te gaan werk, jy moet met experience gaan. So vir my is dit maar eerstens wil ek maar soortdam wil ek hier bly. En dan wil maar daar by die groen en goud uitkom. Wil maar daar by die Springbokke, wil jy maar aandeel in die sukses en nog 'n wêreldbeker. So maar dit vat tyd, maar ja.
Dankie.
Die naweek se sport is nou as 3 groot games naweek, né? As die Currie Cup môre en dan sit die All Blacks in Argentinië Sondag en dan sit die Bokke predictions vir die naweek.
Jo, Currie Cup eerstens, my vriend speel by die Blauwelle Cornel. So dis maar
Almost as 'n final mos, né?
Final.
Global Sharks, né?
Ja. Okay. Ek dink Bulle gaan dit doen. Alhoewel ek is 'n Saak supporter. Maar ek moet ook 'n bietjie ek het gister wat gesê ek wil Cornel toe lag en sê kom asseblief hom maar dan hy kom huis toe. Moenie nie verloor en dan raak ek kwaad as die mense nie wil foto's neem nie. So ek het 'n prediction dat die Blauwelle is 'n geoliede masjien. Hulle doen goed, definitief. Goeie foto. Definitief. En ek is 'n Springbok, groot Springbok. Ek dink net wat nou gepraat oor Kwyt Cooper wat in is, maar ek dink net Suid-Afrika met wat hulle doen, hoe hulle game manage en hoe hulle dinge doen, alles goed. En dan die All Blacks is ook maar op 'n next level. Ja,
praat jy oor Suid-Afrika. Yeah, so I think just before we go, congratulations to Bjorn Fortuin that's been included in the T20 World Cup team. They're playing in Oman in October. And then, yeah, we're just gonna, before we get over to Izele to finish our 10 questions with Izele, over to our, what they call chefs, female chefs, what do they call it? Koesister makers.
I think I'm the chef in the making, and then we have the professional chef here with us. So we're now at the second phase here, Saajidah. So just explain to us, after you've set everything now, you've set it up for 20 minutes, obviously to rise, for the dough to rise, and then what happens next?
No, that's actually 2 hours. 1.5 to 2 hours. It is quite a process. It's not just something quick. After you've mixed everything, you've covered it, you let it rise for 1.5 to 2 hours. Okay, and then you're going to get your dough as doubled in size.
Yes.
You're going to dab your surface with oil because it's quite sticky, so that it doesn't stick to your hands. You're going to dab your surface with oil. Then you're going to start making balls. Like small, not too small, not too big, because it actually doubles in volume again once you put it on the table. Okay, once you've set out all your balls, you fry it in oil, and this is the end result you get after that. So then, after that, the next process is making a syrup. Syrup, I normally use 2 cups of sugar, and with that you add 4 cups of water. You let that boil until it's a nice sticky. Yeah, it's not too sticky because then it's going to be too hard on your koesister, but it must be the perfect consistency. Then you dip your koesisters in that syrup, say about depends, 1 to 2 minutes. You should just, you just have to feed it with the eye when it's ready. Check it with the eye when it's ready. So you turn that around. When you see it steady, you take it out, and then obviously you'd cover it with coconut. And this is the end product you have, a koesister.
And it looks lovely. It looks amazing. One interesting fact that I found out actually that was such a cool fact for me is that in 1995, when President Mandela went to Hendrik Verwoerd, the former Prime Minister, he went to his wife Betsy Verwoerd. And as he's part of reconciliation, he went to have tea with her. And guess what is the thing that they had? They had koesisters and tea. And that was their way of reconciliation and forgiveness. And how amazing is that? What an amazing fact is that? So koesisters brings people together. Yeah, reconcile and forgiveness, and just brings people together and just have a nice afternoon tea. Awesome. So over to Miles and Izele for now.
Oh, well said. Yeah, thanks. Very interesting fact there, Judith. I didn't know that. So we're just going to finish the conversation with Izele. I've got 10 questions that I ask every guest. It's got nothing to do with wine, because all the interviews have just got wine making and wine. So, right. So most famous person that you've drank a cup of wine.
So we're done here now.
was it so big for you?
Because all the hard work, team effort, I didn't think it would ever happen.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And it's just like you work really hard to get to a certain goal, but when is good or good enough?
Have you counted how many medals or awards you've had for your mentor range?
No.
Okay, maybe, you could.
We can try and count.
Yeah. Every year. We didn't touch on how was COVID for the winemaker in KWV. How did you?
Yeah, so we actually in that first hard lockdown, we were only 14 people at KWV working that were allowed to go to the winery because it was still in harvest time. We had to get the wine into barrel. Usually we have 60 people in the winery, then we had 4 or 5.
Jeez.
So we worked round the clock just to make sure, but also in curfew hours. But yeah, it was challenging, and also wine sales.
Yeah.
Definitely, that was the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But now things are how are things now? I mean,
exports helped us a lot.
Okay.
So we must actually say thank you to our international markets, and they were buying a lot of wine. Almost sweat.
Yeah.
They bought a lot of wine, and they really did that Save South African wine, and that was amazing. Especially it's interesting how premium wine sales went really up. But then you can think about if it's international wine, that wine aren't so expensive in the international markets. So we're very grateful for our international markets. And KWV exports about 60%, and the Mentors range is about 90% is exported. So that's really good for us.
Just for my interest, what's the bottle, the wine that you make, the Mentor range? What's the pricing like?
So the white wine is 149 Rand a bottle, and the red wine's 280 Rand a bottle. And then we've got our flagship, the Peralt, that's 700 Rand.
Okay, cool. All right, okay, that's nice. That's nice. Best restaurant you've eaten in, and what's the best favorite country you visited?
Best restaurant I've eaten in, Test Kitchen.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
That closed,
the doors aren't open now. Best country, I travel a lot, and I love experiences. In love with Italy, northern Italy, not Tuscany. Everyone think, Tuscany. Douro, Portugal.
Okay.
Our Valley in Germany. But if you wake me up in the middle of the night and say, where are you going to move? I'll say Italy.
Okay, cool. All right, nice. What's your biggest lesson in life, like as a winemaker? In 10 years here, what is your biggest lesson?
You're never going to make the best wine in the world. You can win the best, you can win an award like the Vertex, the best wine in South Africa, or you can even win the best wine in the world. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up, and there's someone else that made a better wine, and that's the thing about winemaking. After university, my first year of working, I went to a home for the weekend, and my father said to me, "You look so concerned." I said, "Yes. I just realized with sport, you can be world champions for a year. With wine, the next morning there will be a better wine. Someone else has pushed the boundaries, and we're working with a live product.
Yeah.
And every year is going to be different.
Yeah.
You will never have a recipe.
Yeah.
Because working with live, it's living products. Every season's going to be different. Climate change. The producer picked at the wrong bulling. I made the wrong call. There's so many variables in making wine, and you can give 10 winemakers the same grapes, pick it at the same time, same block, and you will never get the same wine.
Okay, cool. So we in the Perel Stadsaal in the main road, and we've got the wine show. There's just a lot of aspirant winemakers that are in front of you. What you telling them? So they say, I'm probably going to call you Auntie Izele. How did you become so successful? What did you tell them?
Go back to the basics.
Okay.
Go really back to the basics. It's manage your PA. There's 3 things in winemaking to become a really good winemaker, and that's basics. Picking date, manage your acidity and your pH, and then your barrel selection. You don't need to do fancy things. You don't need to, it's just don't need to add anything special to the wine. It's just if you do the basics right and taste. I don't think people understand. You need to taste the wine. They always tease me at the cellar. They say, we won't be able to sell any wine because you've been tasting all the wines. But it's really, if you can, tasting is the most crucial thing about a winemaker.
Okay, all right.
If you can understand that, you can make wine.
So just for interest sake, so from the time of grapes coming into KWV to corked, how long is that? Yours?
Okay, so white wine takes about 9 months.
What?
And red wines, the premium red wines, it's about 18 months.
Wow,
18 months
I didn't know that.
To 2 years, yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
if you drink a 2020, I'm currently busy blending the 2020 Mentors. It will be bottled in November, and then it's going to be lying in the bottle for a year. You will only be able to buy it 2023.
Jeez, okay, very interesting. And then the last question I had here, last question is, tell the world something interesting about winemaking that they don't really know.
Sure, interesting about winemaking. Yes, where do I start? There's so many different varietals. A lot of people think it's Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Shiraz, Cabernet. There's so many, and that's also a thing that we drive in the Mentor cellars. Experimenting with Petit Verdot, Cabernet Franc, Mourvedre, Tannat, Nebbiolo, Sangiovese. There's so many varietals that people don't even know about.
Yeah.
Usually when I say it in a tasting, they say, "Are you swearing?"
Yeah.
At me, because I don't know what you're saying. But there's so many different varietals, so many different experiments that you can actually do. They are now playing with bigger barrels. There's foudres. There's eggs concrete eggs that they're making wine in now. There's wine. The one thing that people don't understand is we as winemakers can go very into chemistry and talk about methoxypyrazines and the phthals and the esters and all those winemaking terms.
Yeah.
But for me, the most important thing to know is, what is the consumer like? You don't make wine to win awards. You make wine to get a smile on a consumer's face.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you realize that as a winemaker, you are actually making wine.
Cool, man.
So there's nothing specific that I can tell you, because I can go through all the processes, but for me, it's the most important thing about a bottle of wine is the smile on the face of the consumer.
Okay, before we go over to Koesisters, last question. What's the big dreams? So Izele's award-winning nationally, award-winning internationally, 10 years of winemaking behind her back, household name, international winemaking name. What's next? Is there something next? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, every day I'm still learning.
Okay, cool.
I've got an amazing team and we are learning together. But for me, I would love to travel more internationally, get more involved in sales and marketing.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes I like people more than I like wine. But the combination of people, wine, and really exceptional food and sport is always a good combination, and that's so truly South African. I think we are passionate about wine, really passionate about food, and sport is probably it's almost like going to church in South Africa. So really it's exciting living in South Africa, and I think my next goal would be more involved in sales and marketing.
Okay. Is there a ultimate South African winemaker prize, or have you won that already?
No, I haven't.
What is that?
They've got a Diners Club Winemaker of the Year.
All right.
But it's all about categories, so you need to enter a specific wine in specific years.
Okay.
So hopefully one day in the future we will be able to get that. But if we don't, we don't.
Okay. Madam, thanks so much for your time,
Pleasure.
man. It was really nice
yeah.
speaking to you. So before we all go, we're just going to head over back to our kitchen because the kitchen staff is ready to serve us some Koesisters. So we're going to move over and we're going to... You had Koesisters before?
Yes, I
Okay,
have.
cool, perfect.
I have.
Okay, so fantastic. While Izele and Miles is joining us in the kitchen, we've come to the most important part. Izele said it this morning, the most important part is tasting. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, so now we're here We're here to taste this lovely Koesisters. Thank you so much, Saajidah, for
It's my
coming
pleasure.
and serving us with these lovely Koesisters. Come on, guys, let's dig in.
I think that
We'll have
guy needs
some.
to have one first.
Yes.
Franzel needs
Yeah,
to
he's very
He's been holding his breath the whole time for that.
There we go.
Unfortunately, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. We can't
Yeah.
drink wine.
Yes, exactly. We can't have one.
Okay, so guys, thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you on Monday morning again. We've got some exciting guests for Monday morning as well. Dean, thank you. Franzel, thank you. Judith, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Saajidah, thank you. Izele, thank you.
Thank you.
Camera guy, Dinsha, thank you. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Goodbye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lekker.